Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. My name's Sam, and if you're new here, please make sure to hit subscribe for all the latest new car content. Today I'm doing a review on this. This is the Great Wall Motors Haval Jolion Pro, and this is the top of the range model today. A huge thanks to Great Wall Motors UK for lending me this vehicle for the week. So today in this video, hopefully I'm going to be able to educate you all about this new vehicle, because you might be seeing lots of these on the road in the coming months and be wondering,
who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her?
This is another Chinese SUV. Great Wall Motors also make the Ora 03, used to be called the Funky Cat, the full electric vehicle. So these cars will be sold alongside each other, however, they don't have a lot in common, they're just part of the same company. Let's start by having a look at the exterior design on this vehicle. To the front of the Jolion Pro, you've got quite an aggressive face with this linear style grille with these sort of metallic sections on it. Definitely has a hint of JQ to it. Another brand they've definitely got inspiration from with the grille is Skoda. It looks very like the Enyaq grille actually, and the whole shape of it is very Skoda-esque. As always with Chinese manufacturers, they always seem to get bits of inspiration everywhere and kind of mix it all together. It also does remind me a little bit of the Honda ZR-V as well. You've got the Haval badge here as well with this sort of Tiffany blue colour background, which looks quite good, and then a normal number plate without one of them chunky plate holders, what you get on MGs for example. So that looks a lot better. Coming lower down on the bumpers where it gets a bit strange, you have this kind of attached splitter section to the vehicle, and then round to the side you've got these kind of fins. So this is the fin section on each side. It's just like they've tried to chuck as much plastic on it as possible, so I'm not really a massive fan of that. Now the headlights on this vehicle and on the mid-spec looks are full LEDs, so that's quite a nice feature to have. If you go for the standard premium model, it is just halogen headlights on the vehicle. You get these vertical style LED daytime running lights. You can see now it's a bit darker. These LED daytime running lights, I'm getting very much Chevrolet vibes from this. So the Jolion Pro is available in 3 different trim levels. It starts off with Premium, which starts at $23,995, so very affordable for a hybrid SUV this size. Similarly cost to the MG ZS Hybrid Plus, which I've already reviewed, a key competitor to this vehicle. If you want to watch that video, you can click up there. It then goes up to the Luxe model, more equipment. You get the leather seats in that vehicle, you get these full LED headlights, the 360 cameras and a few additional features. And then at the top of the range you've got this one, which is the Ultra trim. This adds electric seats for the passenger as well. It adds the sunroof, it adds wireless phone charging, front parking sensors and a few other features. So it's quite nice to have a high spec vehicle. However, this one comes in at $29,995 starting price, £6,000 from the base spec to top spec. I'm not sure it's worth going for that. Maybe you'd want to go for a more established brand when you're looking at that £30,000 mark. But if you do like all your gadgets and gizmos, then you will definitely appreciate them on the top spec model. So to the side of the Jolion Pro, you can see the rear tail light bar does jut out a bit, so that's very MG like. I do quite like that. And then you've got the gloss black door handles. I'm not a massive fan of these, but they're not majorly offensive or anything like that. And you've got the glossy pillars as well, which look quite smart. This Ultra model also gives you the roof rails and the sunroof, so it's quite nicely styled. It's nothing revolutionary at this side, just a typical small to mid-size SUV. The rear though is a little bit more controversial, I suppose. And to the back of the Haval, it's a little bit different. You've got this big spoiler on the rear of the vehicle, which is maybe a bit of overkill. This light bar design is definitely reminiscent of Kia vehicles. It looks just like the Sportage 2018 era. It would have been nice to see them do their own thing a bit more to the rear, because if you looked at this, you would just think it's a Kia. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't have its own identity at all, really. You've got GWM on the back for Great Wall Motors, and then HEV as it is a hybrid. In other regions, they have a petrol and a hybrid model. In the UK, right now, we just have the self-charging hybrid. Again, you've got these fin sections at the back as well. You've also got these vertical reflectors, very similar to, again, JQ, another Chinese brand. You can see at the back, the number plate doesn't have an ugly black plate holder either. However, this is quite a wide plate they've chosen, so I'm sure you could just have a standard plate, a normal one on with plate tape, and cover up any of the fixing points on the vehicle, because this is a little bit chunky. And how about colours offered on the Jolion Pro? Well, there's 4 to choose from, which isn't too many actually on the vehicle. As standard, it comes in the Hamilton white solid paintwork. They've kind of gone for a more subtle colour palette on the vehicle. This is the Ayers Grey. All metallic paintwork options are £595 optional extra. It's more of a silver really rather than a grey, somewhere in between, not the most exciting. My favourite is the Arctic Blue. This is also £595. I really do like that. It's more of a turquoise colour. It looks really quite cool. It's darker than the colour on the badge though. And then last but not least, you've got the Golden Black. I've not seen that in person, so I don't know if it's got flecks of gold in it or something like that, or if it's just called Golden Black, but that's for more of a sleek look on the vehicle. So 4 different colours. You don't have option of contrasting roof or anything like that, but it makes it very easy to spec, and that's the same whatever trim you go for on the vehicle. Alloy wheels on the Jolion Pro. Well, there's just 2 different options to choose from. It starts off with these 17-inch diamond cut alloy wheels on the premium model. If you go up to the Lux and this top of the range Ultra model, you get these 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. Unfortunately, they do have some kind of mid-range slash budget tyres. They come home Soliers tyres, which aren't the best really. Better to have a European tyre brand with a bit more grip on them. So we'll take it for a drive now. We've done a short journey up the motorway, about 20 miles, and we've averaged 43 miles per gallon. Let's go. You can see it's in EV mode now as well, and I've put it in 1-pedal drive mode as well, which isn't very common for a hybrid. So that means essentially you should be able to drive just with the accelerator, and then when you come off the accelerator, it should come to a complete stop without braking, which is really good. And it also puts the handbrake on for you by itself, so that's all really great. Like I say, it's really good, that 1-pedal drive mode. You don't have to put it in it each time you go as well, so that's really great as well. It just remembers it, which is really good. The actual drive modes though, you do have to change that each time, so it just puts it back into normal as a default each time basically, which is a little bit annoying. The steering wheel is a bit strange ergonomically, so it's not very comfortable to hold it 9 and 3. You need to actually hold it 10 and 2. It's very thin as well, so it doesn't have a problem like BMWs, which are too chunky, but this is almost too thin. But if you've got small hands, that'll be good. The brakes themselves are quite smooth. There's less jerkiness or different levels to the braking than what you get on the Omoda and JQ vehicles. However, they definitely have an upper hand in terms of the interior. Feels a lot better quality. So we'll be able to test the acceleration out now from 30 to national speed limit. 1, 2, 3, go. It's a bit of a noise there, but it's pretty smooth and good acceleration on the vehicle. It's got loads of torque thanks to the electric motors, so that's really great. It's a 2-speed hybrid automatic, so a bit like what MG have done with their 3-speed, probably more like a CVT transmission with 2 kind of stages of gears, but it's pretty smooth overall. It does hang on to revs a little bit, but generally it's not too loud. So the engine alone isn't majorly powerful. 93 brake horsepower, 125 newton meters of torque, and then the electric motors add a lot more power. They add 250 newton meters of torque, so you get 375 newton meters of torque altogether, and 0 to 62 in 9 seconds isn't too bad for this sort of size of hybrid vehicle. Official miles per gallon is about 47. If you're going around town, you can get mid-50s quite easily. However, motorway, I was getting more low 40s. So depends how you drive, but I think that combined 47 is pretty accurate if you do bits of motorway, but mostly town and city driving. It is a shame that this bonnet is not on hydraulics and is so heavy. Obviously, you shouldn't be needing to go in there much, especially as the 12-volt batteries in the back if you need to access that, but ugh, that's heavy. And it just goes into EV mode where it can. Again, really great having that 1-pedal drive, because I can see we're coming to a 30 now. What I can say about the 1-pedal drive, it's not completely linear. So when you first come off the accelerator, it's quite slow slowing down, and then when you get slower, it gets stronger, which actually I think is quite a good way of doing it, because if you're going at a faster speed, it's not just gonna like put you through the windscreen just when you come off the accelerator. It's quite smooth. And then at the slower speeds, it really does get stronger, which is great. You get that a lot as well. Hey, don't stray. I'm not straying. It's very weird. They're very sensitive, but the safety assistance systems do turn themselves on again each time. I turned the lane assist off last time because it's very, very invasive, which isn't the best. It does proper tug at the steering wheel, which isn't ideal. But when you pop it in park, the handbrake does come on by itself, which is a great feature. I really like that. Turn lane assist off, you've got to go into your home and then vehicle and then here, and then intelligent driving, lane assist, and then press it off like that and it'll come up as off on there in amber. So it's a bit of a faff, and you do have to do that every time, which is really annoying, and it is very invasive, so you will be wanting to turn it off. And you get this as well, please drive with attention, when I'm literally paying attention. So this little thing is always scanning your eyes to check you're looking at the road, but even now still thinks I'm not looking, and that can be a pain as well. I don't get it. It sounds like a heart rate monitor right now, even though I'm literally looking at the road. That really is quite annoying, that beeping. It heard me, I think. The indicators are very annoying as well, very loud and tinny sounding, which isn't great. I want to try the horn, see what it's like. It's a bit of a comedy horn. Beep beep. A lot of people have said the ride's kind of firm. It's not as firm as I expected. This is on 18-inch alloys, so on the 17s on the standard model it will be a bit more supple. Deals with the bumps quite well. Steering's very light, especially at slow speeds, good for parking and city driving, but just not what I'm used to. I wish not as much stuff was all through the screen, because it's just not as intuitive, which does let it down, because the actual driving position and drive itself is actually pretty decent and surprisingly quite good, especially when I spent more time in it and did a longer journey. Today, a couple of hours with the vehicle, and generally it's quite quiet, especially around town. It's not too raucous sounding. So when you go on the motorway, it generally gets a bit louder basically, but it's not too bad. Hybrids don't really make a lot of sense for motorway driving. You don't really get the benefit of it. So you'll probably just be better going with a normal petrol vehicle if you do mostly motorway driving. So let's move on to the interior now. Well, this is the top-spec Ultra model, so just bear that in mind. It gives you the panoramic opening sunroof, which goes all the way into the back, so that's really nice, like what you'd get on a T-Roc as an option. You have to go for the top-spec for this though, but you can see, you can pull the blind back, it's electronic. You can also stop that anywhere along the length of the cabin, so you can stop it there if you've got kids or pets that wanted some shade in the back, or have it all the way open and let the light in the cabin. And then you've also got the openable sunroof as well, which is such a lovely feature on a day like today to get that fresh air in. And you also have the pop-up fly screen, which is another great feature. You've also got the synthetic leather seats on Lux and above. So on Lux and Ultra you have these seats. They're surprisingly quite comfortable. They're not hard like a lot of synthetic leather seats can be quite firm, but these are really quite nice. They've got this exposed stitching and a very Jeep look. They've got quite a few different elements from vehicles, so the buttons in the vehicle, the buttons on the steering wheel look very Jeep-like as well. This is your infotainment display, so you get a 10.25 inch on the premium model, and then you get this 12.25 inch on Lux and Ultra models. It is very clearly facing away from the driver, which is a big disappointment, and it's not very user-friendly. So that's kind of what you see in real life, the screen facing away from the driver, which is just not great. You've got to reach if you want to go home. So they've not actually changed all of the menus from that side to this side of the vehicle, so you'll see what I mean. If I need to go to any other menus, I've got to stretch all the way over there, not just go here. So that's not that easy. Also, these shortcuts, they're not the easiest. You don't have a home shortcut, for example. You just got your air conditioning, then it'll bring up the screen, or your fans and that'll bring up the screen. So that's quite good. Your cameras also, that'll come up so you can see all around the car, which is quite a useful feature. So they've done a good job there with that tech. So there is some good things about it, but it's just not the most user-friendly, unfortunately. Your gear select is very like that of an MG. They've tried to make it look premium, but it just doesn't. Unfortunately, my gripes don't end there with the Jolion Pro. You have to plug your phone in to use Apple CarPlay, and let's listen to some tunes. FM or AM radio only. This is 2025 and a £30,000 vehicle. Even all the cheaper budget brands have got DAB in the vehicles. I don't think I've seen a new car without DAB the whole time I've worked in the industry since 2021. That could be better. Just the whole infotainment and user friendliness of the system is just not where I'd like it to be. Yes, Chinese cars tend to have bings and bongs that can be annoying, but cars like the MG can be quite easy to get used to and to live with and have your favourite tunes on, etc. I will say though that the sound system in this is definitely much better than on the MG ZS, which wasn't good at all. It's not the best in this, it's way better on the O-Moda 5 and other European SUVs, but it's not as bad as the MG, so that's good. This is all soft touch materials here, as is the dash, which looks very MG-like. Even Ora themselves with the Funky Cat, that feels and looks a lot more premium than this car. I know it's built to a price, but it just doesn't feel quite as nice as other competitors, unfortunately. These seats though do. They haven't scrimped on these in terms of comfort or the feel of the leatherette. That's all really quite nice, which is great. On the standard premium, the full cloth, and then this leatherette is on Lux and the Ultra model. You just want something comfortable, especially that'll do town driving. This could definitely be a good option for you. As I say, these seats are great. You get the electronic driver's seat on Lux model, and then the Ultra model adds the electronic passenger seat as well. It doesn't go up and down, unfortunately, though, so that's just like the MG ZS in that way. See here, this is your instruments, and then you've got your heads-up display there, which you should be able to see. Got this little coffee cup holder, which is very useful. Here's one I drank earlier, so that doesn't spill, go around, that's nice. Seats great, sunroof great on the top spec model, but it is expensive. But other bits, a little bit lackluster. I do like the fact they've got USB though for a dash cam here. Why don't more people do that? That's a really great feature. It just makes a lot of sense. So well done for that, Great Wall Motors. Let's take a little look at the boot space and practicality on the Jolion Pro. Not an electric tailgate even on this top spec Ultra model. You've got a retractable load cover, which isn't the most common for this sort of class, so that's quite a nice feature to be able to have that. So you can see how far from the ground the boot is. It's quite high up, but you've got no load lip, which is good. Inside the boot you get 255 litres, which sounds tiny. I have to say it does look bigger than that, but they do measure up to load cover, and the load cover is very low, like you get on the JQs as well. I don't know why they don't put the load cover here. Then under here, you've got your warning triangle and tyre inflation kit, and then underneath here, you've got your 12-volt battery and full hybrid battery in there as well. So that's eating into the boot space quite a bit. They could have put the 12-volt battery under the bonnet. There's definitely space for that. And then the hybrid battery could have gone maybe more under the seats, and then the seats could have moved forward a bit. I just don't think it's been packaged the best way. Also, it's got multi-link rear suspension, which this car originally wasn't designed for. They've kind of adapted it, so that's also eating into further boot space. So in terms of practicality, it's not the most practical in the class, unfortunately. But you do have a handle to shut it. It's not too bad. There you go, you can do it with one hand. If you do want to maximise your boot space, you can fold down the rear seats. There's some little fabric tags, you can't actually recline them. And then you've got quite a strange way, as I say, because there's a hybrid battery under there, the boot is very high up. So you've got kind of a step up, and then it's kind of level with this section about there. So it goes down and then goes up again. So it's not the most practical flat through loading floor on there, but you could slide some longer items through and give yourself a bit more practicality. It's a good quality thunk. How about back seat space? How is it? Surely it's better than the boot. Yes, it is better than the boot. They could have moved this forward a bit actually to give you more boot space. You've got loads of leg room, and headroom's pretty decent as well. Lots of space in the back, like you get in the Honda HR-V. That also is a hybrid SUV with a lot of leg room, which is excellent. Loads of space under the seat as well. This is semi-driving position, so yeah, really decent amount of space. Check out the middle seat. You've got a fully flat floor, which is so uncommon, especially in a hybrid vehicle. So yeah, that's a really decent, good seat. Back's a bit firm, but not too bad at all. That's one of the better ones, so that's better than the HR-V in that sense. And then you've got some cup holders here. Good, decent armrest and cup holders. We've also got Isofix points, which are underneath the Velcro, like on an MG, which I quite like. I think that's very clever. Just an easy solution and keeps them nice and hidden out the way, which is good. You've got these sculpted seats in the back as well, which means they are quite comfortable. Nice long base as well. They can be sometimes a bit short, a small SUV, so that's nice. Pocket on the back of each seat, and you've got two USB-A ports. So they're not C's, but You've got two, which is really good for this class. Some don't have any at all in the back, and you've got a bit of a cubby here and then just vents to feed through the climate to the rear of the vehicle. So that's all quite good. So then, what are my final thoughts on the Haval Jolion Pro? Well, I think it's a good start and introduction to the UK market, this vehicle. Haval have got a lot more exciting, larger vehicles in different regions, which I think would perform very well in the UK. Even one that looks like a Lamborghini Urus, which is quite cool. There's a lot to like about this vehicle. It drives very well. Full one-pedal driving on a hybrid as well is something that we hardly ever see, and that's great. The seats were very comfortable, even on a longer journey, no pain or discomfort, so that's also really positive on the vehicle. There is a few things that do let it down, such as the screen facing away, the interior materials which just feel a bit inferior from other brands and really quite cheap, which isn't great, and also the very small boot due to the hybrid battery being under there, as well as the 12-volt battery. So some things could definitely be improved on. The style is probably a bit polarizing. I definitely like the look of the front. I think it's quite aggressive and a little bit different, and the rear, not so much a big fan of it. What do you think of the looks of this car though? Pop it in the comments down below. In terms of value, the standard model starting at under 24,000 is a really great package altogether. This one though, starting at around 30,000, is quite a lot of money. If you are wondering what alternatives though are available at this similar kind of price, is there any? Well, yes, there is, especially if you go for a mild hybrid instead, such as the Mazda CX-30, a car that I reviewed recently and really liked. If you want to watch my video on that, you can click up there. That'll get similar miles per gallon to this full hybrid vehicle and is offered at a very similar price for a well-established brand. However, this Great Walls Motors vehicle gives you a 5-year warranty, which is better than the 3 years on lots of manufacturers. It gives you the 8-year battery warranty as well, so that's really positive. And if you're driving around town a lot, you will really benefit from the electrification, being in electric mode a lot of the time. Like I say, it's not the perfect package altogether. You are making a few compromises buying this vehicle, but definitely check it out if you are interested, like the looks and looking for a hybrid SUV. This could be the vehicle for you. Thanks again to Great Wall Motors UK for lending me the Haval for the week. I've enjoyed having something a little bit different on the channel. Let me know if you have as well in the comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next review.